your life
right. Which direction I wanted to go in.
Exact moment.
Right.
And I feel like there's a lot of power in the present moment that a lot of people aren't tapped into, that you have a million choices and it's always, you can always choose peace
Right.
if you want to.
You are not a slave to one particular outcome.
Yes, no matter of what anybody else is doing, you control your reactions. That's what was the most powerful thing.
And honestly, I think, just to kind of piggyback off that statement, I think that comes from having the consciousness to know that we are all limitless, right? Like, we don't have to adopt a specific mentality or a specific practice that forces us to live and think a certain way. Whatever we want to be, we can be. And if you have that mindset, you'll be able to, I mean, you might lose out on a few friends because people will kind of perceive you as cocky or arrogant, but fuck them.
Mind over matter is magic. I do magic. No emotion. Mind over matter is magic. I do magic. No emotion. Mind over matter is magic. I do magic. No emotion. You think of that? Mind over matter is magic. I do magic.
Welcome to Mind Over Matter, baby. I'm your host, DEJA Wallace, and if this is your first time joining me, welcome. If this is not, shout out to you.
Right.
You real.
At least you locked in
loyal.
now.
I appreciate you. You my dog, for real. So, I have a big guest in the building, okay? I first ran across this young gentleman on Instagram doing some crazy spin move through the air, backflip, some NBA type dunking. Like, no cap. But I have no other than Cole.
Oh, man.
Let the people know where to get connected with you. Tell the people about yourself. Okay.
If it's prom time, then it's my time.
Okay.
Straight up and down, get right or get left.
Okay.
Holiday season to the death. You listening to Mind Over Matter with two of the best.
Oh.
You dig me?
Oh, I wish I had the flesh bomb.
Nah, it's ft.cole.holiday. Y'all can find me on at ft.cole.holiday, cole.holiday on Instagram.
Okay.
So that's me right there.
Tap in with him.
Tap in, y'all.
Yeah, but I did not expect that. You caught me off guard.
Listen, we got to get straight to it. We coming with the heat at the beginning of the episode.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Word.
Yeah, so make sure you follow him, get connected, and kick back, relax, and enjoy this episode.
For sure.
On today's episode, we'll be talking about emotional intelligence. We'll be talking about mindfulness and just overall how to be conscious and how to control your emotions, essentially. So that's what we're going to get into today. So I want to start off with your training, because I do know you're a trainer, you're a personal trainer, and you are very like mindful when you're training. And that's what really like I liked about you when I was looking at your page. Like you're not over here lifting 300 pounds, grunting, doing the most, you know? And I go to the gym sometimes, and when I go into the gym, I see those guys like, you know,
just trying to hulk out real meathead.
Yes,
like, or
exactly. And I've been going to the gym since I was younger, so it's
kind
of
an athlete.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so we've been working out our whole life, damn near.
Exactly.
Right.
But I'm still learning things up to last week. I figured out I was doing my calf press wrong. I was doing it wrong the whole time. You know, and I was trying to just do the most and get my weight up there instead of focusing on technique.
Right.
So how important is it when you're training to focus on technique more than powering your way through the workout?
So one of the things, or my style of training rather, is centered around mindfulness. So I do help people improve their general fitness, centered around mindful practices. And for example, we could take a plank, right? If you're in the position of a plank, most people, their intention with that exercise would be to hold it for as long as possible. But just like you were saying, like, you be in the weight room and you just focusing on weight. Let me just do this exercise for as much weight as I can, for as many reps as I can. But when you take a step back, it's really just about dropping your ego. And you are more conscious of the little intricacies of physical health. You'll be able to tap into different parts of your body that you weren't able to feel before. So if we're in a plank, instead of holding it for seconds, let's be mindful of different things like our alignment. Let's be mindful of our breathing pattern. Let's be mindful of the different muscle groups that we're engaging to perform the exercise. And you'll realize that you'll be able to get a lot more out of a simple plank than, thinking about it that way, incorporating consciousness in your physical activity than just, let me just hold this for seconds. Let me bench 200. Let me squat 300.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's really just about thinking about, honestly, day-to-day tasks that you do all the time and you don't have no consciousness in your tasks. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because I feel like in a way, when you're training, it kind of ties into how you are mentally in a way.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the times I realized that when I was working, like doing the most at the gym and putting on a lot of weights on my back while I was doing squats and straining my body, and I hurt my back.
I was just about to say you probably had a
Yeah.
back injury at some point, right?
I did have a back injury. That's what forced me to just take the weights off and practice on how straight my back is without the weights. And that helped me with my form, which ultimately helped me work out parts of my body I wasn't working out before.
Right.
That the
Like you feel like your muscles are being engaged in a different way, not trying to like hulk out and
exactly
focus on weight. I mean, I used to be the same way. When I first started lifting weights or just training for my sport, it was more so just like, let me just throw all the plates on this squat bar real quick. You know what I'm saying? But I had injuries just like that. Like my back was, can I curse on here?
Yeah, go ahead.
My back was fucked up.
Yeah.
I had a bunch of different issues where my mobility started to deteriorate over time. And it wasn't until I honestly took a break from weight training and just started to set the intention of improving and mastering my body that I honestly feel way stronger now than I ever did trying to hulk out in the weight room, trying to deadlift 400 pounds, trying to squat 400 pounds. Like, now I honestly rarely lift weights, but have me tell the story. I'm way stronger now than I was when I was doing all that. You know what I'm saying?
And it definitely helps you in the long run because you don't max out and you don't feel like
that fatigue
gym is like a strenuous thing. You actually enjoy going to the gym when you actually do it with a mindful.
You have your intention. You set intentions for your exercise.
Because when I was doing all of that, I was like, the gym was my escape. So I was like grunting to get out, like, my physical, whatever.
That was your outlet of expression.
Exactly.
Right.
So, yeah. So is there do you feel like there's a correlation between your diet, working out, and your mental state? Because as I said before, I feel like there's a big connection between all of it.
When it comes to improving your physical health, what you put in your body, honestly, is it's a lot more impactful than the exercise itself. You have to treat the insides of your body well in order to perform at a optimal level. So yeah, diet is definitely something that a lot of people overlook. You know what I'm saying? Like, people are, what do they call it when you just be going out drinking on every single weekend?
What, like, I don't know, partying? What?
Yeah, I'm bugging out. I'm thinking about something. But yeah, like, people will go out every Friday, Saturday night.
Get lit.
Thirsty Thursdays, drinking every single week. Go to McDonald's, get them a McChicken with a small fries. I'm gonna go to the gym after though. I'm gonna burn it off later.
Yeah.
It's like you're doing yourself, disservice. Treating your body like that. You want the most out of your physical body. You have to be able to put the right things inside of it.
And you know what I can't stand in our culture? It's looked at as like if I'm at a table full of my friends, they'll all order whatever the hell they're ordering. And if I was to order something like a vegan or something like a salad or something, or a water,
ass.
even if I order like a water instead of a drink, they'd be like, she trying to be healthy and shit. Like,
why she acting bougie now? Like, word.
Like, if you don't take this drink, if you don't take this shot,
But see,
what is you doing?
People like that are dangerous though, right? Because they want you to function at such a low frequency, like how they're functioning.
Right.
You know, they have such fatal traits and bad habits that they want you to be just like them. So they don't feel as bad as doing the nasty things that they doing because you're doing the same thing. So it's okay. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah. They want to drag you into their
you into their disgustingness.
Yeah, their
honestly.
misery.
Yeah.
But everything's good in moderation, of course. Like, yeah, all of this.
Except for drinking.
Oh, so we got two different. But why do you say that?
Well, you know, alcohol.
Drinking is bad no matter what. But
liquor is poison. Liquor is poison.
He's right.
Right.
He's right.
Now, if I wasn't on a podcast and we just having a regular conversation in a social setting, I wouldn't even talk about alcohol because I know people start getting defensive. Like, oh, well, I drink and I'm fine. I'm like, okay.
I actually hate drinking.
Well, why do you hate drinking?
Because first of all, it doesn't taste good.
The taste. And if the taste is not indicative of that liquor is bad for your body, then I don't know what is.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And anytime I drink, I throw up. Any single time.
If something was truly meant to be in your body would not force it to come back out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So if you drink a gallon of water, what would happen to your body? Just a gallon of water.
My stomach will hurt.
Your stomach will hurt from drinking water?
A gallon one time?
Let's say throughout the course of a day.
Yeah. I'll have to pee a lot. I'll have to pee a lot.
Right.
But it's flushing your system, so.
And if you drink a gallon of liquor, what do you think would happen?
Die. That's death right there.
You would die, right?
Yeah. Alcohol poisoning.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It's little things. You got to think about stuff like this. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That'll literally just change how you think about the things that you do.
Yeah, it's true. But I'm in denial of it because I'm still like...
It's all right.
Because the summer's coming up. I don't even drink like that, though, honestly.
It's all right.
Like, I probably drunk like twice this year, even if that. And I wasn't even drunk. It was wine, so...
I think wine is okay.
Yeah. So, yeah.
I think wine is okay. Because isn't it just like old-ass grapes?
Exactly.
That's
and
not...
Jesus had wine, so...
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So, you know what I also hate, too? How, like, I like being outside and, like, riding my bike and going on hikes and just doing random stuff in nature, you know? And...
You don't got no friends to fuck with it with you?
Yes. They look at it like, yo, this girl, they kind of associate that with white behavior. Like, how is that?
Oh, that would...
Like, I would go kayaking. Me and my brother used to go kayaking and fishing. And he's the only person that would be down with it.
The fact that you got friends that will call activities in nature white,
white.
is pretty concerning.
Or they'll be like, you know, Deja's white.
Nah, that's pretty
like,
concerning.
Yeah.
I mean...
It is.
As beings of nature, we operate our best in nature. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
But even when I go out in nature and I'm riding my bike, I barely see that many people that look like this.
Right. Black people.
Yeah. So it is a off mindset that I've noticed, and
that's terrible.
Yeah, it is terrible.
Because I don't think I have friends that would say something like that.
Yeah. That's why. Yeah.
Let's just say, look, if you have to be in those environments by yourself, I would do it. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, I still do it regardless of what people say, but that's why I have to update my roster.
And you know what? During the summer, I'm gonna do that shit with you.
Okay.
Yeah.
You heard it first here on Mind Over Matter.
Listen, when you in New York City, you don't understand how bad bricks and concrete can be for your mental wellness. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, it comes a point where if you have the means to be able to escape this place, even if it's for a temporary period of time, do it. Because, like I said, bricks and concrete 365, you're going to be fucked up in your head. And you might not even know it. If your consciousness is not advanced to the point where you are super in tune with everything that's going on in your brain and your body, you don't understand that New York City can be very toxic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that's reflected in the people, too. A lot of the people have that mindset. Like, I went to London not too long ago.
Oh, I'm fucking jealous, bro.
Yeah, it was lit. It was my first time, too.
I feel like London's been calling me for the past year.
It's a vibe. It's just like New York City, but the people there are nice.
But your ass paid $2K to get there, though.
Nah.
How much you pay to get on that plane?
It was $600 for a ticket, one way. So it was like
And then
I didn't pay to come back because like I went through an adoption agency because I went to get my brother.
Oh, okay.
My mom adopted a little brother. Yeah, shout out to you, Joshy.
So basically that means she scammed her way to come back home. That's what that means.
Basically, I went out there. It's just like New York, exactly like New York, but the people there are nice.
Really?
Yeah, the people there are so friendly.
In London?
Yes. The people there are like
I
so
wouldn't
open
expect
to
that.
speaking to you. Like I had somebody offer me a
Yo,
bag
black
of
guys?
chips.
They want to talk to you for real?
Nah, it's definitely parts where it's like, all right.
Right, like you could sense that.
I could feel a little animosity in the air, but I don't care because I'm a guest. Like I'm just passing through. I'm gonna have fun regardless of your, discrimination. But they're very friendly people, honestly.
I definitely need to make that trip for sure.
But I was saying something about it, trying to compare it. Oh yeah. When around rush hour time, you should see the amount of bicycles that are on the street. Like it's polluted with bicycles.
For real?
Yeah, like kids,
almost intolerable type shit. Like you can't even walk.
No, because the streets are so small. Not everybody have a car. The same mindset like New York, but the streets here are wider, so everybody do have a car. But it would be like overpopulated if everybody there drives. So instead, they're more.
So people be cycling.
Yeah, and I was just like, wow, like that's fun. Like that inspired me. When I came home, I started cycling to school.
For real?
Yeah.
Like
and it's
you
faster.
just went recently, right? You just went recently?
Mm-hmm. I started cycling to school, and it's faster for me.
See, I'm not that well traveled, so that's something that I gotta be able to, make a stronger point of emphasis in the future to just kind of hop on a plane more and go to places I've never been.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I feel like there's so much knowledge to be acquired through travel.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And learning out about another place's history.
Yes.
For sure.
Yes.
And you could connect with people more that are not from, your locality.
Yeah, and I talk about that in my We Should Travel More episode, so go tune into that.
Shit, I'm gonna have to tune into that too.
All right, so we got into all of that. I also want to get into your most recent blog. About to change the pace to this.
The story that I just published on my website.
Yes.
TheHolidayMethod.com. The story she's talking about, you can go to articles, and it's called If Only I Hadn't.
Yeah.
And it's a story about, or it is a story when me and my friend were almost shot dead by police when I was 16. It's a story that involves racism, near death, potential police brutality, and consciousness. And my reasoning for publishing that story was to highlight how paramount emotional intelligence is.
Yeah, and what I took away from that story was like you basically were using your emotions like as a superpower almost, and just trusting the universe to unfold how it's supposed to.
Right.
And just having that kind of clarity that you were here for a bigger purpose. And reading that story, like I got goosebumps because it was like you were faced with a life or death situation, literally.
So the importance of emotional intelligence is more prevalent than I think most of us even consciously understand, because the difference at times between life and death could very much well be the difference between having and not having emotional intelligence. Having that ability to keep a cooler head in situations that call for stability, you'll be able to avoid much potential turmoil because of it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
What part of the story did you feel like resonated most with you, or do you feel like hit the hardest?
It was the part where you started speaking to yourself and you kind of slowed down the moment.
Right.
It was almost as if, all right, so it was the part where the cop had the gun at you guys and you can see where it was going to go.
Right.
But you didn't act out of fear.
Right.
Most people in that situation, they're going off their instincts.
Right. Because they see a gun pointed towards them. So
they're
now
in
you're
shock.
just...
So you're just going off of your emotions. So I found it very powerful that you were able to tap into the present moment and ask yourself certain questions to escape your fate, basically,
Right.
which was, you have more than one fate. I feel like you dictated where your life
Right, which
would
direction
go in
I
that
wanted to go in.
exact moment.
Right.
And I feel like there's a lot of power in the present moment that a lot of people aren't tapped into, that you have a million choices, and it's always, you can always choose peace
Right.
if you want to.
You are
matter
you are not a slave to one particular outcome.
Yes, no
Right.
matter of what anybody else is doing, you control your reactions. That's what was the most powerful thing.
And honestly, I think, just to kind of piggyback off that statement, I think that comes from having the consciousness to know that we are all limitless, right? Like, we don't have to adopt a specific mentality or a specific practice that forces us to live and think a certain way. Whatever we want to be, we can be. And if you have that mindset, you'll be able to, I mean, you might lose out on a few friends because people will kind of perceive you as cocky or arrogant, but fuck them. Like, who cares, right? Like, I don't care what you think, because I have such a high estimation on my ability to accomplish goals that I'm not the one with the problem. You're the one with the problem. I can do whatever I want. You know what I'm saying? And I can almost, I feel so strongly in our ability to do that we can literally change outcomes before the situation even comes to unfold. You know what I'm saying? Based on how we're acting and how we're speaking and thinking in that moment, we can continue to plant seeds towards the future and do whatever we want to do. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But you have to be able to free your mind to understand this. You know what I'm saying? If we're not free, if our intuition is clouded, if our mind is still plagued with pain and trauma, and we can't think clearly and messages can't get through, you're not going to understand this. The things that I'm saying, you're not going to understand what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. So it really is about just freeing your mind and being limitless, and have high estimation on your ability to go far in life. You could do whatever you want to do. Exactly. You can even avoid death, but you have to have consciousness. You have to understand yourself in order to understand the externality around you.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And I also had a similar. It was nothing compared to what you went
Listen,
through.
I know your black ass and experienced racism before.
Yeah, of
so,
course.
Word.
Of course. And I told this story already, but I don't want to talk about that. I'm gonna talk about a different story where I didn't have emotional intelligence and I wasn't conscious. So I basically I had walked on to try out for UConn basketball women team.
Say word.
Yeah.
Oh, so she that nice with it though?
I really tried out for that team. But that morning, I had got some crazy news.
What was the news?
That my brother basically got hit by a car.
Oh.
And it was a viral video. And people were resharing it. My friends were resharing it. And it went crazy on the internet.
And that shit just
people
took
were
you completely
laughing
out the
at
game.
it. People were putting voiceovers over it. Yeah, it's a brutal world out there. So I had that on my mind the entire day. And I prepared myself for it, but I could not get out of that state of mind of replaying that video over and over in my head.
Right.
So it basically threw me off.
Right.
Like, I flopped. I choked. I couldn't perform
just
how I
too
wanted
shaken.
to.
Right.
Yeah, I couldn't perform how I wanted to because of that was going on through my head. And, you know, the coaches don't know what I'm going through. Like, they just perceive it as, all right, she's trash.
Right.
Like, next,
right,
you know?
Right.
But if I had taken myself out that moment and say, DEJA, you've waited for this moment for 2 years now. Right. This is your moment.
You got it.
But I didn't have that clarity, you know? I let it overpower me. So what do you think, like, how do you feel like most people who struggle with controlling their emotions, what advice would you give to them?
Improving emotional intelligence would be to improve your self-awareness. If there's one thing that we should know absolutely everything about in this world, it should be us, right? So everybody's going to be ignorant to something. Even a genius is ignorant to one thing. But like I said, we should know everything that goes on with us. You know, in our head, we should be in tune and locked in and have full understanding of that. When you know or understand, you have intelligence. When you have intelligence, you have the ability to influence or control. And if we're talking about in situations that call for us to control our emotions, yeah, it would be of benefit to all of us. It would be of great value to all of us to know everything there is to know about us. You know what I'm saying? It's just, like I said, if you don't have no consciousness, then it's going to be a little hard. But like I said, emotional intelligence is indicative of self-awareness. So that would be the first step.
So, yeah, I feel like I agree. You have to know yourself. You have to learn more about yourself for you
Right.
to even get to that place of just
Right.
becoming emotionally intelligent, you know?
But it's really, it's a matter of taking the initiative. Like, you have to take the initiative. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, being limitless, you have to take your mind out of a certain space and be comfortable with dealing with tough tasks. You know what I'm saying? Because self-awareness can be kind of scary sometimes, because you might be tapping into some things that you suppressed. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like pain and trauma from your childhood.
It could be an ugly road.
You know what I'm saying? But you have to have that mental fortitude in order to go down that road. I tell people all the time, you have to be willing to drown in pain, right? You have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. And you won't die from it. You honestly won't die from it, because the discomfort you feel is just your mind and your body adapting to stress. If you understand this, then you know that at the end of this process, a better you is waiting.
Right.
So you have to be disciplined enough to go through it.
Right. And what you are talking about is looking at life as a marathon, looking at the longevity in things, and not being so caught up on instant gratification.
Right.
You know? But yeah, some powerful stuff, y'all. Powerful. Oh, yes. Let's get into this now. Social media and emotional intelligence. I feel like this generation coming up is going to suffer a lot when it comes to
The Gen Zers.
Yes, when it comes to emotional intelligence, because they are... Okay, I'm going to give this example. When I went to a new school, right? Connecticut, when I went to UConn, that was I went there not knowing anybody. And what I noticed was a lot of my peers, they weren't as open to speaking to people. They were more so on their phones to interact with people instead of interacting with the people around them.
Desensitized by technology.
Exactly. So I felt like an outsider even more, because I made it a habit now to follow everybody around me and just, stay in contact with my friends back home instead of trying to make new friends. And it was like this kind of paradigm where I felt like I made myself anxious in a way. And I'm not an anxious person, but I made myself anxious through the phone because I didn't put it down, and I was just trying to cater to my friendships back home. And I feel like this next generation is going to be less emotionally intelligent because they have this kind of fake sort of emotion, like the likes. It's not real likes. It's like artificial emotions.
I would even go a little bit farther and say that it's not just social media. I would say the advancement of technology as a whole has created a level of superficiality in modern time. The two things that I believe it's done, it's kind of hampered our ability to converse properly, right, with other human beings. Like human to human interaction nowadays, 2022, is like almost laughable. You know what I'm saying? Because we're so desensitized with the text messaging and the DMs and the emojis that we're not forced to have personality and depth in real life. You know what I'm saying? Like, truth be told, I'm going to say specifically Gen Zers, a lot of Gen Zers can't come on this podcast and have a conversation. And you can't put this up because y'all going to be talking bullshit because y'all not saying nothing. You know what I'm saying? Most of the time. And that's honestly what I feel what tech has done, or in an overall sense, even further than just social media. And the second thing I believe it's done is laziness. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody's lazy. We're so lazy. I'll give an example. When our parents were our age, when our grandparents were our age, if we had a question that we needed an answer to, we'd have to go to the library. We had to get off our asses, go to the library, take out a book, skim the whole book just to find the answer to the one question we had. Now, what can we do?
Now we don't even trust our own like instincts. We have to Google everything.
We can do a quick Google search. We can ask Siri. We can ask Alexa. It's completely taken the manual labor out of going to fish for knowledge and fish for information. You know what I'm saying? Like, tech has done all of the work for us. That's also why I feel like obesity is more prevalent now than ever, because our tech gets the job done. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, but this is deep.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of the times, like even a lot of the times in college, I felt like we procrastinated a lot because we would want to do something and it'll be a room full of us saying we're going to do something 10,000 times, but we would just end up scrolling.
So many distractions on that phone.
Scrolling.
Right.
And then looking at the party through Snapchat before actually going. We'll be like, oh, is the party lit yet? Is the party lit yet? And there for hours before we actually make a move. And
It's even not going to make a move. It's not jumping enough.
Yes.
Word.
And even the conversations will be so draining. It's like, I don't care to talk about it, but it feels like robotic. Like, oh, you heard about ASAP and you heard about Rihanna and...
Yeah.
It's like...
One of my biggest turnoffs...
but I don't care about it.
Right. You know, one of my biggest turnoffs is definitely small talk. Like, I don't like small talk at all. We could probably small talk for like 30 seconds, and then you're going to have to say something of meaning before I start. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I really will do that. I remember one time I was at work. I think it was like 2018. And one of my employees, he was just talking my ear off with bullshit. I literally fell asleep right in front of him.
Wow.
I was on my break.
That's bad.
And no disrespect, because I didn't even mean to do that purposefully, but he was talking to me and I'm sitting down on my lunch break and I'm just like, and then I realized I wake up, he not even there no more. I was like, I think I just fell asleep on this nigga.
It be like that.
Word.
I had said that before and I got a lot of bad messages about that. I had said that before, that I hate small talk because it's like, get to the point.
Right.
You know, like, what are we here? Like, where is this going? You know, what's your intention? Like, why are we doing this?
Or like, yeah, say something that's going to bring us further along.
Yeah, it feels very robotic. Like, oh, the weather outside is pretty cold.
Boy, if somebody asked me that question, I'll be like, all right, bro.
Yeah, like, don't do that.
Don't do that.
I'm gonna shut it down real quick.
Word. But see, I don't invest too much energy into things like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I feel like I'm trapped in a conversation of small talk, instantly I'll come up with a way to get myself. I gotta go to the bathroom. You know what I'm saying? And I come back, I'm avoiding the shit out you. I'm like, yo.
Right.
Don't talk to me, motherfucker. Don't talk to me.
That's why I hate like needy people that always need to be on FaceTime.
Ew.
Like, I went through that a lot in high school. Like,
that's also one of my biggest turnoffs is clinginess.
Yeah, like, why do you always want to speak to me and know what I'm doing? Like, it's weird.
But isn't that like indicative of like how little things they have to do in their own life? Like, mother, you could talk to me all day. I know you're a bum. You're not doing nothing. You know what I'm saying? Because I can't talk. I don't even talk to my own mother every day.
Right.
So how can I speak to you every day? And the whole day? Like, you want to have an ongoing text and conversation the whole day.
Right.
I can't do
I
that.
feel like it's an invasion of privacy, too.
Right.
Like, every second I feel like you're knocking on my front door trying to see what I'm doing. Like,
you ever had somebody hit you with the what you doing's like 5 times in like 45 minutes?
Yes, I'm speaking from experience.
Right.
I had somebody who didn't want me to, they wanted me to fall asleep on FaceTime. That's so toxic.
Wait, at what age was this?
Like,
because we was doing shit like this at like 15, 16.
Like 19, 20.
See, that's too goddamn old. You in college at that point.
Yeah.
What you doing falling asleep on FaceTime for?
Yeah.
Don't you got an exam the next day, my nigga? Like,
yeah, I was like 19.
Right.
That's so toxic to me. Like, why do you always want to know what I'm doing?
I also like giving people space because, well, 1, because I need my own space. And 2, because I feel like there needs to be time for us to live life a little bit in between each interaction. That way when we come back together, we can actually have something meaningful to speak about. Because if we speaking all day, every day, then it's just straight, what you doing? Like, motherfucker, I'm still watching this movie. Like, you just asked me 12 minutes ago.
Right.
I'm not doing nothing new.
Yeah.
Like, you need to, what you doing? You need to get up off your ass and go do something. Because I've been working all day. I'm at home now. I'm tired. I kind of don't even want to talk to you. I really just want to wind down in this bed right now. But you keep calling my phone, talk about what you're doing. But then, see, here's the thing with that, right? Then they start getting mad, and then they're going to cut you off because you're not sweating them like how you're supposed to be sweating them. But I just,
Exactly.
I'll be like, all
you're
right.
fake. And then you're
Right,
like,
you're fake, right?
Yeah, that's just so childish.
I don't be tripping off that, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't care.
Yeah. I have less people in my life like that, but I still feel like it's tough.
Don't you feel like in 9th grade you had like 40 friends? And now you got like,
Oh, yeah.
now you got
definitely.
like 3?
Definitely. Yeah.
That's really that's really just like the biggest thing of maturity. Like one of the main things that'll happen first when you start to grow. You can start to lose all your friends because you're going to realize that the people you're interacting with don't align with not only where you are currently, but where you aspire to go.
And you got to remember, people change, people evolve. Like, people don't have the same interests that they did when they were 16.
Right.
And nothing's wrong with that.
No, nothing's wrong with that. I mean, we're all growing, right? And we all have our own path to go down. And if I'm rocking with you for right now at this moment, that's because we've come together to help each other grow in some way. Now, it might not always be pretty, right? Because sometimes we have to grow through very disgusting situations, right? Very, very hurtful, painful situations.
Right.
But, you know, I needed to encounter you for me be able to kind of learn the lesson I was supposed to dealing with you. You know, and now I can take the wisdom and the fruits that I got from this situation. We can part ways now. You know what I'm saying? We were conjoint at this period of time in our lives, and now we can move on towards something else, and I could take the knowledge that I acquired here, apply it towards the future.
Yeah. And it's all about perspective too, because some people do say like, oh, this person changed or this person is fake because you guys don't interact as much as you guys used to.
Right.
But it's all about perspective. You have to think, okay, maybe this person is in a place where in their life where they have to zero in on their self and focus more on their self. You know?
I can personally attest to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like I said, even with your past relationships, not even like with the whole idea of an ex, you have to think about that person was probably there to show you more about yourself.
Right. Like a
always,
karmic situation.
Yeah, it's not always like, oh, fuck that nigga, like, I
Right,
can't
right.
trust him. It's not always a bad thing to have somebody like an ex, you know?
Right. Don't let anybody ever put you down for changing. Because if you're changing for the better, then, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's really just a reflection of the type of person they are.
We're supposed to change.
We're supposed to
Like, that's
change. We're
scary if
we're
you're-
supposed to prove all the time.
Yeah, that's scary if you're on the same timing as you was
Right.
in middle school. That's
Right.
weird.
Right.
Like, grow up.
Right.
You know?
It's okay. And also that kind of bringing it back to emotional intelligence or having emotional maturity, sometimes you need to be able to say, it's all right. Like, we was friends for 10 years. We, you know, I still got love for you, but we just not gonna kick it like how we used to kick it.
Yeah.
And that's fine. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm going down this road, and whatever road you going down, left or right, I just know that it don't got nothing to do with me anymore.
Do you actually have that conversation, or do you kind of just like ghost the person? I would ghost the person personally.
If it's like organically coming to that point where it's clear we're parting ways, I don't really think is a need to have a formal sit down about something like that. It's just y'all just,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Y'all just
Okay.
growing apart,
Yeah. Exactly.
basically. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So I'm going to finish it off with this. Do you feel like technology is making people less enthusiastic to connect with each other in person?
Yeah. I'm going to say yeah. Less enthused to interact with other human beings. Well, yeah. And my reasoning for saying that is because, I mean, you're so accustomed to interacting with people through a device that it's just like, what's the point of me talking to you in person when I've been doing it this way for so long, so why would I do something different? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's kind of like from that perspective.
Yeah. And it becomes easier too to actually think and conjure up what you're about to say back
Right.
to this person and how you're going to edit this to say it a certain way.
And some people most people. Specifically for Gen Zers, I don't think we have the conversing ability. We're not conversationalists to be able to have an instant response to somebody in the moment, within that moment of having a conversation,
That's
right?
messed up.
Like it's kind of, I know you've been on like dates with dry motherfuckers.
Yes. They literally sound like a social media feed, and it's
Right.
scary.
You ever had somebody tell you a joke and it's like, motherfucker, I seen that meme.
Yeah, you sound like a TikTok.
Like that's
right
not
now.
your joke.
Yeah.
Word.
It's scary. It's like be yourself.
That's the thing. People can't be themselves because they're just following the externalities that, are being pushed onto you. You know what I'm saying? Like the jokes, the memes. Let's even go as far as to say religion and politics and societal norms. All of these things are being adopted. You know what I'm saying? We're internalizing these things, these externalities to be true of us, right? That's why we can't think for ourselves. You know what I'm saying? We grow up like this from the point that we can be conscious of what we're seeing and what we're thinking and feeling at age 5. The brainwashing starts from there, right? We are not our true selves from that point, right? And we grow up continuing to become less and less of what we truly are in essence, which is divine, all of us. You know what I'm saying? But this shit
Big
is
facts.
way deeper than just like conversations,
Big facts.
social media. Everything has a seed, and most of the time these seeds were planted thousands of years ago. And
Oh, he's getting deep.
come on.
Oh, snap. Let me stop
'Cause if we
before
gonna-
the feds start coming for
Because if we talk about emotional
He's wilding
intelligence,
right now. Because you have to think about it. Why is it that social media can be used in a way more powerful way than it is being used now?
right?
So why have we collectively agreed to settle for this mediocrity?
Because you didn't really know who you were from day one. You know what I'm
It's
saying?
like a lost sense of self.
The suppression starts, like I said, as soon as you are able enough to perceive your world around you, which is roughly around age 5, right? Your parents tell you what to do. Your religious book tells you what to do. Politics kind of tells you which side to choose and how to feel about certain individuals on the opposing side,
Right.
right? Societal norms are pushed onto us through jokes that we tell and certain things that we see on the TV and in the movies. And that's from like age 5, right? You don't even know who you really are until you're like 20, 21. Who you really are, right? Like you don't have that strong sense of your
that's if you do the
identity.
work at the
Right,
do
right,
the
right.
work.
Right. And it could go even way later than that, right? Like some people don't even find themselves until like 30, 35. And then some people don't find themselves ever. Right? But it really starts from that young. Right? You don't know who you are from that young because you have so much things from outside of yourself telling you how to think and feel. So when you get to an age where now you need to be your own person, it's impossible for you to be your own person. You ain't been your own person since you were born.
Oh my God.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh my God.
And it's really like that. It's really like that. That's why you need to put forth an effort to free yourself. I tell people all the time, you got to be free. Be free. And it's way deeper than just some superficial, shallow reasons that.
Do you think everybody's capable of even being free?
Yes.
What do you mean by be free?
When you have a free mind, right?
Like it's a limitless mind, like you were saying before.
When you have a free mind, when your intuition is clear, when your brain is not plagued with things of wicked nature and painful experiences and trauma, the messages that you need to get for you to be able to understand who you are can get through clearly. But if your intuition is not clear, the message won't be clear, right? The reason for your existence will be unknown to you because your intuition is fucked. You know what I'm saying?
And just how like your imagination can conjure up all these worst, like all this like bad, what if this happens, what
Right.
if this happens.
You know, you can
conjure
manifest
up-
your own demise.
Yeah.
In case you didn't know.
Exactly. It could conjure up great like
Right.
abundance,
Right.
like prosperity,
Right.
longevity. It can do the same thing on both sides of the spectrum.
Right. But if if your mind is not of that place, that's why the healing process is so important, right? Because you have to be able to clean yourself of these things that keep you at a low vibration, right? To keep you vibrating low. But if you can heal and you can free yourself, you're kind of like unlocking a whole new realm within this realm of possibilities that are endless for you, right? Because you think limitless. Now the possibilities of everything outside of you for good things to happen are limitless at that point. But if you're wicked here, if you're nasty here, if you are pessimistic here,
Right.
you can only go but so far, right? Not only that, you will attract your own demise from thinking these things, right? Why does this shit keep happening? Well, you keep that thing keeps happening to you because you keep thinking about it, and you keep expecting it to happen, so it does happen. Think about that. And I know from experience, because I used to do the same thing. This situation keep happening. Why I keep having to deal with this? Why these type of people keep coming into my life? Because I'm expecting them to come into my life. Because I'm expecting myself to be victim of these certain things that I hate so much. Yeah. I'm putting energy into it. If I'm putting energy into it, I'm putting life into it. I'm giving these things life. If I'm putting life into it, then it lives. And then it keeps transpiring. I have to keep dealing with it. But once you end it here, it can't live anymore.
So what you're like describing is like habitual thinking, because our thoughts are always on for most of us. Most of us can't turn it off. Like our thoughts are always going. So a lot of us, we're habitually like, we're in this cycle of just negative thinking. And some of us can't step out of it because it's comfortable. It's familiar.
Well, everybody can step out of it. It's just not everybody's willing to.
Exactly.
Not everybody's willing to. Like I said before, you have to be able to drown yourself in pain. Be willing to go to that measure, right? Because at the end of that, a better you is waiting. But the mental fortitude has to be there. The discipline has to be there. And really, you just have to want, greatness more for yourself more than anybody else can want greatness for you.
Like, forget what everybody's saying. Believe in yourself.
You have to believe in yourself, right? You have to want to be the best person you possibly can be. Otherwise, there's a shelf life. You know, you can only go but so far. You know, you only go but so far working within a system. You can only go but so far thinking within a specific compartment, right? That is very limiting. But once you break that box and you say, you know what? I'm going to do this. And in some point in time, I'm going to do this. At some point in time, I'm going to be this. And one day I aspire to feel this, which is that of love, of pureness, of righteousness, right? Of empathy, right?
Yeah.
You have to want to go to that place. You have to be willing to want to go to that place. But success is not, you can't be successful, things that are true worth, right? Things that can last a long time. You'll never be able to get it within this quick fix, right here, right now frame of thinking that.
You have to go and do what they call the shadow work. You have to fight demons. You have to go back into your childhood and then realize, oh, I act this way and I move off of this because I went through trauma.
Because of this experience.
Because of this traumatic experience.
Right.
And then when you realize that you've went through that traumatic experience, and that realization makes you, you're able to basically trace back your thoughts.
Right.
In a way, like, okay, I'm doing this right now because when I was 3, my mom used to beat me, and now I'm moving off of some type of, instinct to protect myself.
And that within itself is consciousness.
Exactly.
Right? That within itself is consciousness.
Exactly. Yeah, but what I've noticed too when I went through that shadow work, which is not pretty, and it takes a while, because sometimes you think, oh, I'm done, but you're not. I noticed that like sometimes, even when I was going through the dark times, it was always that peace. Like there was always like peace within me still, even though I was going through dark times.
Right. I mean, because your essence in itself is peace.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? You know, your soul is love.
Yeah.
Right? So you can't ever be too far away from what you naturally are in essence, which is pureness. You know what I'm saying? Which is light, which is love.
Yeah.
Word.
Oh my God, that was a great episode.
Word.
What's the time saying?
We had 49 minutes right now.
Say fucking word. We been here for that long.
You want to make it an hour?
Shit.
I think we should make it an
Whatever
hour.
notes you got in there, you keep touching on that.
Make it an hour. So, do you consider yourself an empath?
Yeah.
Do you
Yeah.
think that's
Well, what's your definition of an empath?
I think an empath is a person that has the ability to feel emotions, and it's not even just the emotions of people around you. It's like the emotional state of the world, even.
Right.
Because during the pandemic, I felt very, unmotivated and stuff, and very like scared, and just in a state of anxiety. But I feel like I was kind of taken in on the world's emotion.
Right.
So I think an empath is just a person that has the ability to feel emotion, just emotionally intelligent too.
What was your experience like dealing with 2020?
I started the podcast, so it wasn't that
Say
bad.
word.
Yeah, I felt very anxious because I was in a
Anxious
place.
towards what?
I was in a place where I had my whole future ahead of me. I had just started UConn. I was gonna get my apartment over there. I was gonna walk on and try. I was planning to try out again. Like I was not taking that L.
Right.
I was gonna try out again.
You gonna do that second time?
I had finally found a nice apartment. I was planning to make like a mark
Right.
in that place.
And the pandemic kind of stopped all of that.
Exactly. So it kind of made me like, I'm a very active person. Like when I open my eyes, the first thing I want to do is like work out, and then I want to do this, and I want to do that, and I want to do this, and I want to do that. Like my days, like I'm doing so much throughout my days because that's like how my mind is. I don't like being inside the house. So
you can't just be idle. You can't just be unproductive.
So when it kind of forced me to be inside the house, I'm like, oh my gosh, like I'm really alone and I can't see nobody, like nobody. So it made me feel very anxious because I was like, now I gotta sit with my thoughts. Like I don't like my thoughts right now. My thoughts aren't good.
Were you always like actively conscious prior to 2020, or is like that kind of was the first step for you? It's like, motherfucker, I can't go outside. Maybe I should go down this path, see what it's talking about.
Yeah, I'll say I was actively conscious, but I didn't even call it conscious. I was just living my life until like 2020. I realized like, all right, I have to go on this like journey myself, and then that's when.
Okay, so that journey started in the midst of the lockdown for you.
It started a little before that.
Okay. But that just like
that helped me like
supercharged
like,
it.
Even starting a podcast during that, it was my outlet. It was my therapy.
My 2020 was.
It was bad. Mine was tough too. A lot of people.
Everybody's was tough.
Exactly.
I want to say it was bad for me, but it was probably the best year of my life. Right. I would say that for sure. Because that was during that time I had awakened to my soul's purpose during that time. In an environment that I couldn't, or that's a lie, in an environment that forced me to live within my head a little bit more. I didn't have outside distractions because there was no reason to go outside. Right. You know what I'm saying? So I can kind of attest to what you were saying, because for that process for me supercharged. And things just started like, it was not a good year. Like we had COVID. We had police brutality with Ahmaud Arbery and George Floyd.
God, that was a headache.
We had riots. We had protests.
Like Donald Trump still.
Right.
That was a headache.
We had all of these things happening just within 1 year. So you can imagine when my mind ascends to a new tier of consciousness, and these things are going on in the midst of it.
It literally feels like a mental battle.
Every day.
Yeah.
Every single day. Like I'm a man. I felt like I had a menstrual cycle. Cause like every day it was a new emotion. Like I'm happy this day. Okay, Monday I kind of feeling good today. Yeah. Tuesday I'm sad as fuck, bro. I'm hella sad. Wednesday, nigga, I'm angry. Nigga, I just want to punch somebody in their motherfucking face. And like the fucking Thursday I'm disappointed. Friday I got I'm feeling self-conscious. I'm insecure. Saturday I'm back to happy and shit. Like it was really like that. It was really like that. But 2020, I would say for sure was the best year of my life because just so much growth and ascension for me happened during that time. And I really don't regret. I don't regret having to experience that at all, for sure. Would I want to do that again? Fuck out of here. But like, you know, I loved it, but didn't love it. But I really did love it.
You know, it was funny. Like, I feel like it was a test that we all needed.
What?
Because I live in like a Brooklyn home, which is very small with 4 people in it. So we were in each other's face all day, right? So it started to feel like, and nobody was working. It started to feel like, you know, the movie Doomsday, or like, it's a lot of movies like that, or like Groundhog's Day or Ferris Bueller Day Off. A lot of movies are like the movies where the day is repetitive. You ever seen any movie like that? Yeah, that's what it started to feel like.
Like I Am Legend is kind of like that.
Oh yeah, I Am Legend. I Am Legend.
He's basically doing the same thing every day because there's nobody around.
Yeah, I started to feel like I was in a movie and every day was the same rehearsed, like, and I felt like I didn't get it right. And the answer to me getting it right was making a podcast in a real way.
Word?
Yeah.
That's how you felt for real?
That's really how I felt because I didn't trust myself to express myself. I didn't trust my being in a way.
Right.
Like I felt like I was too tainted by the outside world. So when I had to focus,
you just didn't have faith in your true nature.
Yes.
Right.
Like I
and the comfortability wasn't there yet.
Yeah, I didn't have the confidence to walk in my essence. That's
right.
What it was to just be me.
Right.
I felt like I was too reliant on my friends,
right,
my family,
or just your day-to-day activities.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So when that was taken from me, like you said, it was a blessing in disguise. I needed that.
That time, there was no gray area for anybody, right? It's either you got way better or you got way worse, right? You did not plateau during that year, right? It was just pure ascension or you had a major downfall.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I even know a bunch of people that they put on like 20, 30 pounds in the lockdown, right? That couldn't be me. Like, I couldn't go to the gym damn near like 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm running my block, right? Just to get a sweat, just to do something, to move my body. I wasn't allowing myself to get out of shape during that time. Couldn't. But I know a bunch of people that did put on 20, 30 pounds. And I go see them again. I'm like, oh, my nigga.
What happened?
Right, like.
A pandemic.
And you don't even want to say it because you don't want to be disrespectful. But like, yo, I'm not gonna lie, bro.
Nah, in my household, they're gonna say it to you. They're gonna let it be known that you put on weight.
Wait, you West Indian?
Yes.
Where you from?
Jamaica.
Oh yeah, they getting on your ass. They getting on your ass for real.
I can't get the chain out right now.
You got the flag on your neck?
Yeah, I got the flag on my neck. Represent. Yeah, but.
Yeah, for sure.
Nah, they will make it be known if you putting on weight. Like they be like, you put on weight, girl.
And that's gonna make you feel bad about yourself. You're like, let me hit the treadmill or some shit.
Yeah. So how do you feel like you protected your energy in a way during that time?
During the lockdown?
Yeah.
I don't even think I did, to be honest. Like successfully, I don't really think I did because, like I said, there was so much nastiness going on in the world throughout the whole year. And it kind of seemed like it was one after the other. Like it's a new incident. Now here's another incident. Now this is going on over here. Now this is going on over here. It's like.
And then fireworks outside didn't make it any better.
Yeah, I was right. And I was just honestly too emotional during that time. That I probably didn't protect my energy the best I could. But that was at the beginning of the awakening process, and a lot of things are, they're like that, at the beginning of the awakening process. So you awaken, you ascend to a new tier of consciousness, and then once you kind of get used to these things, you can accept it, and then you get back to a more grounded state. But that's going to take time, for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Most definitely.
But I found out that meditation actually works for me.
Me too.
It wasn't easy to start.
Real quick. What was your biggest obstacle when it comes to trying to get better at meditation? Because
when I think and I get on a bad thought.
I asked this question because I knew what she was gonna say. You couldn't be mentally still.
Yeah, like when I had to stop meditating when I first started because I would harp on bad thoughts, and I'll put myself in just this crazy cycle of just bad thoughts. What if this happened? What if this happened? Like, you're not gonna make it. Like, you're gonna be a failure. Like, you're never gonna amount to anything. I was just have to be like, yo, what is wrong?
Right. But those are the devils talking to you, though. Right. Like, that's not. It comes to a point when you reach a certain level of consciousness, those bad thoughts are actually not even your thoughts. You know, you're being talked to by things that want you to stay at such a low frequency. That way you can't tap into, you know, the things that you're truly capable of.
Right.
Right.
So my biggest challenge was trying to not get sucked into my negative thoughts.
Right. I think because I recommend people, I always suggest that people start meditating. And the main thing that I hear all of the time is that I just can't be like quiet in my head. Like, I always got these things like going on in my head. Like, I just can't be still. So the first thing that you would want to do is you want to sit in a place that is comfortable to you, and you want to bring awareness to your breath. You just want to be mindful of your breathing pattern and how you're breathing. And you can start off that way, right? Every meditation should have an intention, right? You don't just want to sit there and like look zen. You know what I'm saying? Like, you actually want to have something that you're trying to achieve every time you meditate. So if you're just starting out getting into meditation, then the first thing that you should probably do is just bring awareness to your breath and trying to stabilize your breathing patterns and bring calmness. And you'll realize that your breathing is a way that if you deal with anxiety, if you have anxious thoughts, you can find that your breathing is a way for you to ground yourself and get back to a more stable state of being through that. So.
And I downloaded the app called Calm. I don't know if you ever heard of it.
I have heard of Calm, but I ain't never used it before though.
Yeah,
Did it help you?
Yeah, that's what helped me to get into meditating. It talked about breathing techniques and just like focusing on your breath when you can't, you know, get out your mind and get out your thoughts.
Do you apply those like breathing methodologies to your day to day?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Word.
I have to. When I start, the first thing I do is take deep breaths in and out. And what I noticed with meditation too is you don't have to be crisscross applesauce with your eyes closed.
Right.
I be meditating in the shower with some hot water on, turn off all the lights.
Right.
You know, focusing on the water hitting my body. Sometimes I meditate when I'm stretching before my workouts. You know, it doesn't always have to look a certain way.
I think there's probably a negative connotation more so in the West, in Western society. Definitely not in Eastern culture, but out here, you know, meditation has like, oh, I have to be like monk-like. Or
yeah,
like, motherfucker,
exactly.
I'm not. Like, niggas think about, I'm not doing
like
that
you're
shit.
a weirdo, you're a hippie.
Yeah, like, you're white.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you're...
Like, what is you doing?
But... like I said, if you have intentions for your meditation, it won't feel like that. Like, it won't feel like you trying to be like real zen or real monk-like. You can, like she just said, you can meditate anywhere. You can meditate standing up with your eyes open. You know what I'm saying?
Even on the train.
Yeah. If you
like, sometimes the trains be like, all right, we got a delay in front of us. Instead of getting tight.
Right.
And I know I'm late, I just be like.
Right. Use your breath to calm that ass down.
Yeah.
Word.
Woosah. For real. That's how I be.
My form of meditation is more like free writing.
Oh, okay.
So I do a lot of free writing. And I've actually come to unlock a lot of different things about myself and my human self and my higher self through the process of writing. Yeah. And kind of just... because I'll either write in a journal or on my computer. If I'm writing on my computer, sometimes words will start flying. They start flying. And then I'll get to a point where I might have just said something. And then it'll hit me like a ton of bricks because that's how intuition works. And it'll be like, I think I just said something that was true. And like, when you stay consistent with that process, you'll be able to unlock so many different things about yourself that you wouldn't have been aware of before these mindful practices. Before incorporating consciousness and mindfulness in everything that you do. So I meditate through writing myself. But I do take the time out to actually like sit on the couch, good posture with my chest up and do some breathing and things will come through that way as well.
Exactly.
Word.
Yeah. Any last words you want to let the people know before we head off with this?
No, I think this was a good conversation.
Yeah, it was.
This is a dope conversation. I can't believe we've been here for that. Yo, what's the time on it?
Hour, 4 minutes.
Shit, I can't believe we was talking for an hour. I feel like it was like 30 minutes.
Really?
Shoot, we just chopping it up.
We are. I feel like we could still go, but I'm gonna make it part 1, part 2 then.
Whatever. You got more notes?
Yeah.
We could do that.
Make sure you tell a friend to tell a friend.
To tell a friend.
To tell a friend, moms.
Right.
That is Mind Over Matter, baby. And make sure you tap in with Cole.
Instagram is cole.holiday, COLE.holiday. Y'all could tap in with me on there for sure.
Right. So make sure you tap in.
Most def.
Everything's going to be in the description.
For sure.
And yeah. Have a good day, y'all.
And we out of here.
And we...
Mind over matter is magic. I do magic. Don't need more, no, no. Mind over matter is magic. I do magic. Don't need more, no, no. Mind over matter is magic. I do magic. Don't need more. You think